And now, without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce today's speaker. His name is William Thomson. William is the founder and events consultant, has been managing events since 1996, and I'd like to ask you now to join me in welcoming William to the stage. William.
You need to say to your speaker, you're delivering content to a physical audience and an online audience and an audience who are going to watch this at a later date. That completely changes, or should change, the structure of your content. Now, when I found out I had a physical audience, an online audience, and people were able to watch this session afterwards, I thought, great, I can put much more information in than I normally would if I just had a physical audience. Has anyone heard of that term, social sidekick, before? Yeah, okay, well what I've done is I created an infographic for you because I had a 16-hour flight to get here. So I thought, what else should I do? And when I landed, they told me that I had to pay $1 for the image at the bottom. So I thought, if I'm paying $1, I'm using it at least 3 times on the screen. So what we're going to look at now, the third section, which is around your objectives and the success from your objectives. So who wrote down an objective for their online events? So if you've come to this and you thought, it sounds quite interesting, let's find out more about online events. What I'd love you to do is be able to have a plan and be able to implement a plan after this and say, well, actually, it sounds like there's some opportunity here for us, but why would we do it? What would our objectives be? So that's in the strategic part. And then the next bit is practically. I'd like you to look at that, and it asks questions around, well, how would you pay for it? What resources would you put in place? What platform would we use? And these are the type of questions that you would have to answer if you were going to come along on this journey, which is to improve the events that you've got or run more events.
With our presenters, President of Maritz Global Events, David Peckinpah. Joe D'Alessandro, President and CEO of the San Francisco Travel Association.
Right.
And founder and events consultant of Gallus Events, William Thomson.
Normally when a speaker comes onto stage, they'll say, can you hear me in the back? But owing to my accent, I have to ask you, can you understand me in the back? Okay, great. I'm here today to speak about how one small country, Scotland, is looking to solve homelessness and how one profession, event organisers, are playing their part. In Scotland, the City Council has a legal duty and obligation to house every single citizen. Now, this is part of the safety net that was built up after the Second World War, but unfortunately more people are now slipping through that gap. And I would encourage you to look at homelessness as a public health issue rather than a public safety issue. And I think if you lobby your representatives to do the same thing, then we're starting to move towards how we can make this a success.
Yes, this is lighting up with all kinds of questions, and William, thank you. That was amazing.
So the first thing I want to start with is the idea, it's a business principle, that your business is on much more of a secure footing if you have a variety of different types of events. So I want you to consider online events as well as digital products as another way for your organisation to earn revenue from events. It's the old, don't put all your eggs in one basket. And when I do consultancy, I often go into organisations and try and help them earn revenue from different streams. And now online events is becoming one of the streams which is most important for a lot of organisations. So that's a business principle. Now, I've been a fan of online events for about 10 years, and I've been running them for 10 years. And I'm a fan, I think, for 5 main reasons. So when we were looking at running this virtual summit, we'd never run online events before. The Practically Perfect PA hadn't. So what we decided to do was to crowdsource the online event. And if you're thinking about making this journey, the first tip that I would give you is to consider crowdfunding an event. Well, I'd like to welcome Josh Littlejohn to the Re-Event podcast. Josh, thanks so much for joining us today from Edinburgh.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Brilliant. The last few years, you've added some events to the portfolios of the things that you wanted to do. So did you always want to be an event organiser?
I've been organising events for almost 25 years, and in that time I shudder to think how many venues I've used. I've booked 5-star hotels in Hong Kong, exhibition halls in Amsterdam, music venues in New York, and conference facilities all over the United Kingdom. And when booking the majority of these venues, I have had to secure the best possible price. Many of my clients were on a tight budget, and every penny that was spent on the venue could have, of course, been spent on other parts of the event. So I've always been pushed to find the best price. It may be you work for an organisation that isn't so cost conscious as many of my clients were, but even if that's the case, my tips for getting the best deal will reflect well on you if you can secure the venue for a great price. Before we cover my 15 tips, I just wanted to highlight the importance of the venue when organising a meeting or any kind of event.